Well, good afternoon, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from gorgeous San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Hope you guys are excited for this lovely Saturday. I have a very powerful question for you, as you can read in the video. What if? This is just a question I want you to think about. What if? It's just a question I want you to ponder. What if? Something I want you to let roll around in your head. What if something that could change your life if you really think about this? What if you woke up this morning with only the things you had thanked God for yesterday? What would life look like today? You see, we tend to actually complain and moan and whine more than we give gratitude. You see, it's a habit. It's a habit that people have of whining and complaining and moaning. In fact, if you check yourself, you might find that you've wrecked yourself with relationships that begin with moaning. Now, I'm not saying they're bad people, and I'm not saying you're a bad person. I'm just saying maybe you have had not the opportunity to be educated on the difference between living a life by default and creating a life by design, understanding that not every thought you think is your own, but corporations and companies for years have spent literally billions of dollars to get into your head and cause you to think about things in terms of their value, their worth, your satisfaction with them, whether it's good enough, whether it's not good enough, whether it says who you are if you have it or who you're not if you don't, to cause you to have a sense of worthlessness or a sense of valuation based on a thing rather than your relationships. Billions of dollars have been spent to get into your head, ladies and gentlemen. You may have forgotten that you have the power to choose to decide what you're going to think. Oh, I know. You might not be able to control the first thought that hits your head, and you can decide how long it's going to stay there and whether you're going to replace it or not. Just like you can't keep a bird from flying over your head, but you can keep them from building a nest in your hair. You get to decide what you are going to choose to think about. So my question is this: what if you woke up today with only the things you had thanked God for yesterday? I have a few questions for you. Number one, would you have woken up in a home? Would there have been a roof over your head? Interesting question. Would you have woken up next to that person you say you love? Would your children have been present? Would you have had a car to drive to work? Would you have had electronics? Would you have had food in the pantry? Would you have even had a pantry if you didn't thank God for your house yesterday? Would you wake up with nobody? Would you be a stump? Would you wake up breathing? Would you wake up healthy? What if you woke up today with only the things you had thanked God for yesterday? What would have showed up in your life today? Let me ask you a more powerful question. If I was to tell you today, you will only wake up tomorrow with the things you thank God for today, what might you choose to do with your time today? What things might make that list? What things would be on priority of that list? If I said, ching ching, boom, bing, genie time, you're only waking up tomorrow with the things that you truly thank God for in your heart today, what would you thank Him for? This is the question I want you to think about. What would you thank Him for? What would your life look like today? My friends, you're not guaranteed tomorrow. And gratitude is the highest and most powerful form of energy that your body, your spirit, your mind, your soul emits. Energy. The highest level of that energy is gratitude, gratefulness, thankfulness. Gratitude and thankfulness will change your health. It will change your psychology. It will change your philosophy. It will change the way you show up in this life when you are grateful. And guess what? You ain't always going to feel grateful. You might not have the feeling of gratitude until it comes to your awareness. You remember the old story. I was a man who Was sad that I had no shoes until I met a man who had no feet. You see, are you comparing yourself with others who appear to have more than you, and it's causing you to feel bad about you? Well, ladies and gentlemen, look at Harvard's recent 75-year study. Not money that makes people happy. It's not stuff that makes people happy. It's not possessions that make people happy. Ultimately, the 75-year study following these people's lives and their children's children it was relationships. Do you have relationships? Enjoy those relationships. Sow into those relationships. Express gratitude for those relationships. So I'm going to ask you one last time, and I want you to think about this weekend. If I was to tell you today, if I had the power to tell you today, tomorrow, you are only going to wake up with the things you thank God for today, I wonder what your life would look like tomorrow now that you know. And more importantly, what if you woke up today with only the things you thanked God for yesterday? What would your today have looked like? Have a great weekend, guys.